I would wish to take you through the process of coming up with KCSE documentation or the report. Therefore, after coming up with your project, you need to write a report, and therefore we shall go through how the report is written and the procedures that are used. Therefore, the first thing to note is the report structure. Note that your report must be binded, that is typed, printed, then you bind. You can use any other type of binding, spiral binding and others. Then it must be fully typed, that is you cannot use handwritten, that is it cannot be handwritten. Then all diagrams should be drawn using an application tool. Therefore you usually use insert, then you go to shapes, then there are flowchart shapes, these ones. Therefore we usually have flowchart shapes, these ones. These are the tools that you use to draw your flowcharts. Therefore mark that. Then your project or your documentation must follow a certain order. We should not get introduction in between of the document, or you get you drawing diagrams at the end. Then we use the Roman page numbering on the preliminary pages. Therefore, I'll be taking you through that. Then also remember, I have done videos on page numbering, how to make the first preliminary pages to be Roman and the others Arabic. Therefore, you will just go to my description below the video and see the guidelines. Then you can also visit my website. I will post it down there in the description to get these materials and download them. Therefore, other pages should have Arabic, but the preliminary pages, which I will be tackling, should have that is Roman page numbering. Then let's proceed. Our first page should be the title page. Now the title page should consist of the following. Should consist of name and index number of the candidate. Then you should have the title of the project in the same page, year of examination, and name of your school. Therefore, we shall also go ahead and look at that one in an example. And therefore, this is previous year's project, 2019. Therefore, this student has scored everything in the first page. You can see there is title of the project, name of the student, index number, then school of the student, and then the year. Therefore, that's the way that page should look like. Remember, you can download these materials in my website, www.gichaidon.co.ke. Just check on the description area below the video. Then we can carry on and see what next. Therefore, after having this one, we go on next to the next part. Remember, the first part is the title page, and then you go to the table of contents. Also in the description, you can see links. I have done videos on how to do all this. Therefore, just click on the video and watch how to create table of content, how to create list of figures, and table that is list of tables. Therefore, what is checked here is that page numbers are correct, it is complete, and it is actually in the correct reference. Therefore, on our documentation, on the other hand, for him, you can now see this sample we have. Remember, you can download this sample on my website for you to follow. Then we have the table of contents. The table of contents, you can see now what we are explaining. The preliminary pages, they are Roman, but from chapter 1, from the introduction, the page numbers are Arabic. Therefore, you can also watch that video on how to do that one. Therefore, after the table of contents, we need to have the list of figures. Therefore, this is the list of figures. It should look like this one. Also, you can watch on my video on how to come up with list of figures. down there in the description of below the video. Then after now having the list of figures, we usually have list of tables. Therefore, list of tables is just a list containing tables in the documentation. First of all, you have to caption the table and the document, then you can be in a position to do that. Remember to watch that video on how to come up with this one. Then we can proceed to the next area. Therefore, after having the title page and the table of contents, then you must have acknowledgement. You must acknowledge your supervisor, who is your computer studies teacher, or your parent. You can acknowledge God and any other, even your friends. Then we have abbreviations. These are abbreviations used, like now you may have used a CPU in your documentation, and therefore we need to have that one elaborated. Therefore, this is exact structure how it looks like. Therefore, we go to our example, to our case study. We shall get that we have a declaration. This part you can include. This is the part that where you actually tell the world that this work is yours. Like now, this student is saying, I declare this project is my original idea and it has not been submitted by any other person. Then you need to sign, and also your teacher, your supervisor should sign for you. Then from there we go to acknowledgement. We have agreed, I would like to thank God for his grace and favor and give me that chance to finish my project. You can also acknowledge your teacher there. Then you need to have a dedication. Whom do you dedicate? Like you can write, I dedicate this project to my sister, to my mom, to my dad, to my uncle, or even to your computer studies teacher. Then from there, you can see now the list of abbreviations. Abbreviations the student has used. Kenya shillings, this means this, TSE, DH, dining hall, that way. Then we can proceed with our guideline. After now having that, I usually go to chapter 1. This is where you actually define the problem you have at hand. Basically, we usually have a manual system, and we want to computerize the manual system. Therefore, the first of all, you will declare, you will actually explain the problem. The problem at hand is to come up with a computerized system to solve the manual system or the manual work that has been going on in the system. Therefore, for that matter, we shall have a general overview of the existing system. You'll tell us how the manual system looks like, the disadvantages, advantages of it. Then you will also tell us now that you have given us how the manual system looked like. How does the proposed computerized system solve those problems? How does it look like? Then from there, you tell us now the objectives. What are the objectives of now your computerized system? Then you tell us how far or which tools are you supposed to use, scope of the system, what will the system do, which problems did you identify in the manual system that will be solved there. Then we have the feasibility study. The feasibility study is the study of benefits against the cost of the system. Therefore, here you should give us at least 3. You should explain at least 3 feasibility studies. These ones are covered in Form 3. We have technical feasibility, economical feasibility, political, social, all those on technical, economical. There are many. Therefore, make sure you explain at least 3. Therefore, let's see that one practically how it has been done. That is in Rehema. Therefore, first of all, you explain, that is introduction. Rehema school is a day school. Whatever you explain according to the question paper. You give just a paragraph on that. Then you go to problem definition. Like now, this student is saying the problem we are facing is to develop a well-documented program that will be able to compromise, that is, should be to process data. Then that is the problem at hand. The problem actually at hand is to come up with it's to change the manual system now to computerized system. Therefore, then from there, you need to go to the overview of the existing manual. Like this documentation, it was discovered that the manual system experienced the following problems. Therefore, this is a very good explanation, an overview of the existing manual. That carrying out the elections was tiresome. It took a lot of time in taking part, that is taking, like now, that is vote counting, cheating or stealing of votes. It was expensive. Therefore, this is a very good overview of the existing system. And that's why you want to come up with the electoral system. That is the computerized one. Then we have the overview of the proposed system. Therefore, the main objective of the system was to, then you can now give them, compute the winner for each post, maintain the list for each level, maintain the list of electoral positions. Then we have the scope. I've told you this is what that system, the capability of the new system. Like now, the scope of this system is to generate list voters, for example, in a faster way, in a cheaper way, save on papers. That is what will the new system actually do. Then feasibility study, you can now see there is the technical feasibility explained. You know how to explain that one from the knowledge you got from your Form 3. Operational feasibility, then legal feasibility. Actually, there should be 3. Economical feasibility, just explain 3. Don't explain so much. Then after having that one, we need to go to the next chapter. The way should be arranged. Therefore, you can see we have now seen the analysis part. Then we can go to part 6, the system design. Now, this is very much important. When you talk about system design, this is explanation of how your system looks like in a paper. Before now, it is actually taken to the computer. You have indicated here in red your manual. You manually draw the objects using word processor. Therefore, basically here, what you start with the system flowchart, and it is not a must you use system flowchart. You can use entity relationship diagram. Just check below the video. I have done very good explanation on how to write ERs. But if you are smart in flowcharts, in Form 3, you can still use flowcharts. But for me, I would opt to use ER diagrams. Therefore, don't forget, check the video below the description on how to draw ER. Therefore, you describe how your system looks like by help of ER diagrams or system flowchart. Then you need to go down there and draw. You use the word processor, this part, insert table or draw table, and you actually draw your tables. You draw your tables using Microsoft Word. Therefore, you draw at least 6 tables. Therefore, you can see that you draw at least 6. That means 6 and above. Then your data types should be correct, just like they are in the system. Then input screen, these are forms. You also draw the forms and you also draw the report. Output, input here, this refers to the forms. Then output refers to the reports. Don't forget that. Remember, you can get these 2 documents I'm using on my website for more clarification. Then from there, we go to the practical bit of this one, and we see that one. Therefore, the system design. Here, this student started with the system flowchart. Therefore, this was the flowchart the student drew. Should actually be 1. Then you can see the input design, the forms. the forms are actually drawn using the shapes. These ones I have shown you how to do this. You use the shapes available here. Therefore, you can see this is how the form has been drawn. Then you go on drawing the forms exactly the way they look. You can see this is just a structure. It is just a skeleton on how the form looks like. Then after drawing the forms, you can go all the way, then draw the tables. Now this is very important. When you are drawing the table, look at this one. This is very nice. You describe the tables the way Microsoft Access does them. You start with the field name, then data type and description. Though description is optional, but since you have time to do that, it is good to include the description. Therefore, if you have 8 tables, draw all of them in this manner: field name, data type, and description. Then after you are done drawing the tables, you need to draw the reports. You can draw the structure of the reports in tabular form. Therefore, you can see now this one. These are the output designs, voters reports. This is how the report looks like. Therefore, for example, this ones might have been the headings. This one. Therefore, this is how the report looks like. Then if you can take at least 6 reports, this is another report. Okay, then this is another report. Those are reports. Okay, you can get this document in my website for more scrutiny. Then we go to the next chapter. The next chapter is called system construction. Now, system construction, you take screenshots. Look at how I have actually indicated here. You take screenshots. Don't forget, don't confuse. In the previous chapter, you draw. Then the same tables, the same forms you have drawn up there, you now screenshot them from the system. You screenshot by pressing PRTS or print screen button on your keyboard. If you are using a laptop, you can press FN and print screen or print screen on, then paste by clicking on this button, paste, or Control V. Therefore, after now having that, we can go to our document and see. Therefore, you can see what the student has done. Now, these are the screenshots of the table. You can screenshot the table, especially in design view, showing how it looks like. Therefore, you can, if you look at this one, you see we have field name, we have data type, we have description. Therefore, that is exactly the way it looked like in the other one. Therefore, here you just screenshot, you go to your system and screenshot, then you paste. Now, once you paste, you right click, you go to insert caption, then you can choose this is figure, then write the title of the figure here. Remember, at the bottom of my videos, I have given a link on how to insert captions. You will just see on that one. Then you just go all the way. Then there is this part of relationship. You just screenshot where your relationships are. Then it should have at least 6 links. Then from now that part, we can just go to our guideline. Therefore, you have a relationship. You have to screenshot at least with the 6 links. Then you screenshot forms, at least 4 forms. You have been given instruction, at least 4 forms. Then you should also print screen or give a screenshot of your queries, few queries where you have done data manipulation, and also few queries or tables where you have done data validation. Now, data validation is restricting data, like for example, a field of age. You want to restrict age, that only 16 and below should be entered. Therefore, such a field will be validation. Then you also need to capture the output screen reports. That is the reports, at least 6. You screenshot them. You print screen, you screenshot and paste them. Then you should also show navigation. Now navigation, when I talk about navigation, you should actually include this. Like now here, if you look at this one, this is a very good demonstration. These are navigation. That is find next, find first. You should actually demonstrate such that you can navigate through your document by help of these ones. That is now what we are talking about, navigation. Then as we proceed, on our guideline, you can see that we have been told about the navigation, that they should appropriate buttons were demonstrated, whatever. That is, you should actually have used the correct buttons. Then we have this part. Also hit below the video description, below the video, I have put links on how to come up with the main form and splash form. Therefore, when your system is loading, the first screen to come should be the splash form, then the main form. Now remember, this is the demonstration. This one should be actually presentation by the candidate, where this one will be captured. Therefore, we have the main form, and the main form should have at least 6 forms on it, and functional skill, it should really work. Therefore, let's see how our Rehema system now looks like. Therefore, we can launch this, then you see how this will work. Now this is the splash form, it's loading. Wait the system to load. Yeah, good. Now the system has loaded. Then once the system has loaded, now when the system has loaded this way, you can see now we have forms. These are forms. Then these you can have reports. Now this is the main form. This is the main form. This one now. Now this is the main form. Then from the main form, you can now see, you can navigate to any other part of this system. Therefore, that is the main form, and you have also seen the splash form should actually be 30 and less seconds. It should really load within 30 and less seconds. Therefore, you can also hit my video down below this actual video. You will see there are some links on video on how to do splash form and main form, very well elaborated. Then in your document, you should have the user's manual. Now the user's manual should entail the following: should have installation guide, should indicate how loading is done, and also how navigation guide is should actually be there. Procedure of generating output should also be there. Therefore, if we look at our real document here, we scroll down, we go through the reports. This is how the screenshots that I was explaining about. We just scroll and scroll and scroll. Now once you scroll, you now get the user's manual here. Now this is the user's manual. Now look at how user's manual looks like. It is actually showing you how the system is installed and the requirements. What are the requirements? Like now this one, you can see we are talking of the requirements. The requirements for your installation, that you need a printer, 2 GB RAM, 20 gigahertz, whatever. This one should be 2.0 gigahertz. Storage media index. Then navigation guide. You can see now the navigation guide. It is actually demonstrating how to launch the program, where you go. You see where you go. It is actually a demonstration. Then after that one, you usually go to the last part. Now the last part is called miscellaneous. Now in the miscellaneous, you have conclusion, you have recommendations, then books, materials, websites, that is the references. And then you can have an interview, a letter of requesting for permission to do an interview. Those ones can be done as appendices. Then when it comes to you student now presenting, this is whatever should will be checked. Installation of the system, you will explain how installation of the system is done. You should also show us how you test some data, like the way I had said that data should for example, age should be less than 16. Therefore, if I key in 20 and it is accepted, then I will have failed on this test data, whether test data is actually making the system to hurt or indicate an error. It should actually be accurate. Then correct navigation. You should actually have the correct navigation, not whereby you have put functionality of previous to be next and next to be previous, or functionality of save and cross, you mix them up. The correct navigation means if I click next, it should go to next. If I click previous, it should go to previous. Then you should also indicate how data is added, to append is to add, how data is changed or edited, and also how deletion, that is how to delete data. Therefore, that's how you write the KCSE documentation. They call it report, and this is a very good guide. You can get this guide on my website. That is where you will get. This is where you get it. www.vichaidon.co.ke. Therefore, this is where you will get all these materials uploaded, and you can download them for free. Then you can practice on this one, where to actually, and where and how to do this stuff. Therefore, you also get this copy for free there. It is uploaded there, giving you 100% pass on showing you how to write a documentation without errors. Therefore, these two documents are very crucial. You have the structure with you, guiding you, showing you where and how you should not go wrong. Then you can also get the links to various videos on how to do like the table of content, a list of figures, list of tables, how to create a splash form, how to create a main form or a switchboard. Therefore, all those ones have been actually been explained. Therefore, I take this chance to thank you. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch and listen to me. Give me thumbs up, comment, share, and also subscribe if you have not yet done so. In case of any question, you can drop the questions on my website comments below the blog. That is in the blog area. You can post a question there. I will be glad to answer you. You can also comment on my YouTube channel. That is below this video. I'll be in a position to hit and reply. Therefore,